orbital command is going to allow him to pull in a bunch of mules, and of course he may even have, oh, I'm sorry, that is not an orbital command. That is going to be a planetary fortress, which is extremely effective in dealing with defending bases. The most effective way I've seen dealing with it is basically to have some kind of an air unit, or well, basically, that if you're Protoss, those are your only options, other than having an extremely large ground force, because obviously that planetary fortress can be repaired by SCVs, and all your SCVs right by that mineral line able to basically just turn around and keep repairing that planetary fortress while you try to focus fire it down. And especially if he's got an army, like as you can see Crybaby does right now, he has a lot of Marauders at the entrance to this base. So he is basically able to repair this planetary fortress extremely quickly with how many SCVs he has, plus he'll have the support of his army underneath. The best way I've seen to deal with this with Zerg is if you get a Corruptor, you can cast that, it's not fungal growth, I can't remember what the name of the ability is right now, but it basically locks the building down from doing anything. On barracks, it will stop you from producing any units or researching any upgrades if you've got an upgrade like Stimpack going. On a planetary fortress, it stops the fortress from firing. So it effectively takes the planetary fortress out of the equation while you take care of their army. So that is one very effective way of dealing with it. And of course, Crybaby moving out on the map again does have this Xel'Naga Watchtower. So he's going to have a majority of the vision on the map right now. And it looks like Goody is trying to go pretty heavy on the Immortals. He does have 3 right now. And if we take a look at the production, we can see that he is starting to warp in some Colossus as well, which Colossus are extremely effective against infantry because they do splash damage. And the infantry, although not quite as effective against Marauders, they will melt Marines very, very quickly. So a very, very heavy Marauder army coming from Crybaby right now. This is actually pretty typical of Terrans up until the patch that was released today. They just released patch 8, which has put a couple nerfs on the Marauder just because so many people were starting to go mass Marauders because of how powerful they are against ground armies. But in this patch, or in the game that's being played currently, it is on the older patch where Marauders are still very strong. So, of course, he, at this point, is not worried about any kind of an air army, it would appear. And it's basically just going this solid Marauder army so that he can do a lot of damage. And he actually has a Ghost in the mix now, too. It looks like he does not quite have enough energy for EMP. So we should be seeing that come online here soon, as he does just barely have enough energy for that now. So EMP, very effective against Protoss spellcasters because it takes away all of their energy. And of course it does take away 100 hit points of their shields as well. And it looks like he's gone for a secret expansion on the left here. Although unfortunately for Crybaby, Goody has an observer flying right overhead and is going to be aware of that expansion immediately. So I'm sure Crybaby was hoping that he was going to get a little bit of a sneaky expansion off here and get some free minerals over there for a bit. But of course Goody is going to be aware of it from the get-go. So he will be able to plan for that accordingly. And it looks like there is a pretty sizable army shaping up outside of Goody's base here. So we could see some fireworks start to fly. And it looks like he is scouting the entrance to the base now, trying to figure out what exactly he needs to do. And the Marauders, you can just see how quickly they were able to focus fire down that one Colossi. Although the other one up on the cliff now, he no longer has vision because the scan has run out, and all of his Marauders, with the exception of the few running away here, and he has lost his Ghost, the Marauders are backing off because they do not have enough firepower to stand up to this army. And again, you can just see how powerful these Immortals are against these heavy units like the Marauders, because of course the Marauders do a very, very nice amount of damage, but the problem being is that these Stalkers reduce all, or I'm sorry, these Immortals rather, reduce all that damage down to 10 per shot. And it looks like Goody is going to get to this expansion just before it finishes, so Crybaby is going to be able to cancel that and get the majority of his resources back. I would have liked to see Goody just hold on for a few more seconds and let Crybaby finish that. That way he wouldn't have been able to run the command center away or cancel it. He would have been able to basically snipe it, which would have resulted in pretty much a waste of minerals. And we see an army going, I'm sorry, a battle going down right between the Marauders and the very, very diversely mixed Protoss army. And it looks like Crybaby is going to have to back up into his base. He's got one turret in his base right now, although not much in the way of air for Goody, although he does have these Colossi, which are able to be hit by the turrets because they are considered both air and ground because of how tall they are. In that planetary fortress, again, you can just see these SCVs repairing it, and the Protoss army trying to focus fire it down, but not able to, although these Colossi with their splash damage may be able to finally do the trick. We'll see if that's going to be enough firepower to take down this planetary fortress. And the Colossi backing up just a little bit with that range upgrade. Once again, you can see how powerful the range upgrade is in this because it is able to outrange the turret of that planetary fortress. So that planetary fortress is going to go down. And Crybaby bringing out some Vikings here, able to take down one of the Colossi, but the other one is still alive. And Goody is going to be building another expansion on the right side of the map here. So it looks like he may be taking an economic advantage here very shortly, although Crybaby is trying to get up another command center here. And he's going to GG right now. So first game going to the blue Protoss Goody, who has proven himself once again to be a very, very formidable opponent. Anyways, we are going to be moving on to game 2 in the finals here, which is a best of 5 series. So at the very least, we'll be seeing 3 games. Anyways, we'll move on to the next game right now. GG.